welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting a little series all to do with your shoulder health. So, for those of you that follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I've had a lot of problems with my shoulder over the last 18 months. And I think in this day and age, we're very reactive to stuff. So when you injure yourself, we've got rehab to be able to make it better, but we're not very proactive in alleviating those injuries in the first place. So, I'm going to show you a little series of exercises that have been given to me by Simon Jones, who works for Physix Medicine. It's his own company. He's an unbelievable physio. He's given me loads of support over the last few months. And yeah, he's put this program together for me for rehab, but I think it's a good way for you to strengthen your shoulders so you don't come into any shoulder pain. So, the first one is probably one of my favourite ones, and it is the bottom up kettlebell press. So, you're going to grab a kettlebell, do this standing, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. And basically, you're going to get it upside down, you're going to grab the handle, and you're going to try and press this above your head, lower it back down, and repeat. Now, there's a few things that you want to pay attention to in this. You want to keep the distance between your shoulder and your ear, so sink that down, get that up, and then press. So you don't want any impingements in your shoulder. If you're pressing it up here, again, it's not going to be very good for your shoulder, and also it can lead to some neck pain. So, the benefits of doing this bottom up kettlebell press, there's 3 or 4. So, first and foremost, because the weight is up here and it's wiggling around a lot, you have to stabilise your whole body in order to be able to press that above your head. So not only is it you stabilising your wrist, it's you taking a lot of the pressure out of your elbow because your grip is in your hand, but also you need a nice tight core. You're going to squeeze your quads nice and tight, and you're going to squeeze your glutes. So all in all, you're nice and braced, and you're pressing that above your head. This weight is slightly lighter than one that I would use normally, but I'm going to show you with a 12 in a second. Also, I'm trying to think of another exercise that this can relate to. So, have you seen people bench pressing? So they've got the barbell, the weights on the end, and then they'll put chains on either side. So the chains are they move a lot when you're pressing, and what this does is it enables you, or you have to engage other muscles in order to keep that barbell straight. And it's exactly the same as this. So if you think about doing a shoulder press on a Smith machine, the movement is very restricted. You've got one plane of movement, you're going like that, and you're simply targeting one muscle. With this, because the weight's on top, and it can move around all over the show, you have to engage other muscles to stabilise that shoulder. So you're not only working one muscle in your shoulder, you're engaging the muscles around it, namely the rotator cuff, to strengthen and support that as you press it above your head. Okay? And also, you're going to try and find the path of least resistance to push that kettlebell over your head. So again, you're incorporating the necessary muscles to enable you to press that kettlebell over your head. So you're going to wrap that up into this position, use this arm to steady yourself and balance. You're going to press that up, come back down, and repeat. I'd aim for between 8 and 12 reps on each side. Then you're going to switch it over and do the other one. Right, seen it with the lighter weight. Now let's give it a go with this one. God, this feels like it's going to be hard already. So, stabilise yourself, engage your core, nice tight squeeze on your quads, nice tight squeeze on your quads, nice tight squeeze on your glutes. You can swing that up to get it into position, and already you can see that's moving around. So, concentrate, we're going to press that above our heads, slowly lower that back down, and we're going to repeat that movement. Once you've done 8 to 12 reps on one side, you're going to switch over, maybe take a 1 minute rest in between doing each arm, and then try and do 3 sets on that. So, up we go, and as you can see I'm a lot weaker in this. What it also does, it makes sure that you've got a nice straight wrist. Basically, when you do anything, you want to be nice and straight in everything that you do. So, wrist above elbow, and then we want to push our elbow above our shoulder in the movement. Core, and the left one is my weak shoulder, and as you can see, my muscles in my rotator cuff are weaker than this side, and this is going to be great for stabilising that. And this is my favourite one that I've started to incorporate into my workouts. So, there is exercise number 1, plenty more to come. but that is the bottoms up kettlebell press. Bottoms up, boy. Okay guys, we are back in with exercise number 2, and this time we are working on external rotation of the humerus. So, the humerus is the upper part of your arm, and external rotation is moving it away from the body, so this movement here. Now, the exercise I'm about to show you deals with 2 muscles in particular. So it is your infraspinators and your teres minor, and they are the 2 muscles responsible for the external rotation. Every other muscle in the shoulder is responsible for doing the opposite movement, so internal rotation. So it's important that you keep the balance by working and strengthening these, and also this is going to help your posture. So these 2 muscles are going to help set your shoulders back along with your traps and rhomboids. So what you want to do is get a bench and a dumbbell. The dumbbell doesn't need to be too heavy at all. I'm using a 5 kilogram one. You're going to stand at a 45-degree angle to the bench, so over here, and sit yourself down. You're going to use your opposite hand to stabilise yourself on the bench, and you're going to get the other knee up like this. You're then going to grab the dumbbell in one hand, put that on top of your knee, and making sure you keep your chest nice and open, really proud, and your head neutral, looking in front of you. You're going to slowly lower that dumbbell down like so, really concentrating on the eccentric part of the movement. This is when you're going to tear your muscle fibres, and then they're going to grow back bigger and stronger alongside a diet of adequate protein and adequate calories, of course. You're then going to return that to the start position, so that is the external rotation of the humerus, and then you're going to repeat that again 8 to 12 times. So making sure that you've got your shoulders nice and pinned back. You really want to set that posture, because this is exactly what you're going to be doing. Then making sure that you pull that back, keeping your arm at a 90-degree angle, and again allowing that to slowly drop down, making sure you're fully in control of the movement, and then bringing it back up. There you go, there is exercise number 2. Let's go on to the next one. We are moving at pace here, guys. So we're on to exercise number 3, and it is a modified lateral raise. So, lateral is to the side, and we are going to modify this slightly because we're going to do this with our thumbs facing up. Now, before we even start lifting the dumbbells, there's a few things to point out. The starting position for this is shoulders back and down. Again, you do not want any impingement in your shoulder. You want to try and create as much space between your shoulder and your ear as possible, and also you want to try and relax your traps as much as possible. Now again, before I pick the dumbbells up, I see a lot of people doing this lateral raise and they turn it in at the top of the movement, and I've heard people say pretend you're pouring a drink at the top. But what it does is it puts unnecessary pressure on the front of your shoulder joint. Instead, we're going to turn our thumbs out, really open out that chest, make sure that your shoulders are sitting down, back and down, and it gives a lot more space to your clavicle and humerus and your shoulder joint. So we're going to turn out, lift it up. If you can, go all the way to the top and then bring it back down. Another couple of things that you want to know. I see a lot of people starting with their bum back like this, and they use that momentum from the hip thrust to drive those up. You want to take a very light weight when you're doing this. You do not need to go heavy at all, and you're actually going to start with your arms a little bit away from your body. What this does is it keeps tension on that muscle the whole time, instead of allowing it to relax and come back down. In order to build your muscles bigger and stronger, you want to have them under tension for a longer period. So by starting with them slightly away from your body, you've already created that tension on the muscle, and then you're going to come up. Don't go all the way up so it allows your shoulders to relax. Come up to a point where you've still got tension on the muscle, and then bring it back down. Again, making sure that we keep our thumbs up to really open up that shoulder joint and protect it as much as possible. So, here we go. As I said, I'm doing this with 5 kilogram dumbbells. We're going to get a nice shoulder stance width. Before you start, you're going to retract your shoulders and drop them down. Make sure you keep your traps nice and relaxed. We're going to turn our thumbs out, lift that up above our heads, again making sure you've got space between your ears and your shoulders, and then slow that eccentric phase down, trying not to let that relax at the bottom. So we're going to stop about there. I've still got tension on my shoulders. We're then going to repeat that to the top of the movement, again not resting at the top, making sure the tension's on the muscles, and slowing that back down to really slow down that eccentric phase. That is where you make the tears in your muscles. And when you eat a high protein diet with adequate calories, that is where you rebuild bigger and stronger. So there you go, there's your modified lateral raise. Going to put them down. I'm going to crack on with the fourth one. Okay guys, we are back with exercise number 4, and this time we are doing a wide raise on an incline bench. So, what the aim of this exercise is to do is to make sure your shoulders or your scapula are retracted and set down, and this exercise is going to target your lower trapezius. So, again, this is going to help with the retraction of your shoulders and setting them down, which is going to give you better posture and stabilise that shoulder. So what you're going to need is a bench at an incline angle, and this isn't an ego exercise at all. We want to go nice and light with the dumbbells. As you can see, I've got 3 kilograms here, and it's going to test me massively. So, 1 dumbbell in each hand, get nice and comfortable on this incline. You don't have to sit down on the chair, you can get up a bit higher and position yourself like this. Again, with this exercise, we're going to make sure that our thumbs are facing up. That gives you space in between that shoulder joint, and again, make sure that your ears and shoulders have got nice distance between them. So, you're going to keep your head in a neutral position, let the dumbbells hang with your thumbs up. You're going to set your shoulders first before you even do anything, so we're going to retract them back and set them down. That is going to engage the lower trapezius. You're then going to lift the dumbbells with the thumbs up above your head and slowly lower them back down. I can feel that so much in my mid-back, it is ridiculous, and probably 3 kilograms after doing 12 reps might be a little bit too heavy, so I might even move down. So again, we're going to set our shoulders before every rep, making sure our thumbs are pointing up, lifting those dumbbells as far as you can. Your ability is going to determine that, and then you're going to slowly lower it back down. You'll probably find that your shoulders drop, so before you do it again, set them back and down, and lift those dumbbells in a Y shape above your head. Core. So, there's another great exercise for you to do and incorporate into your shoulder health routine. Watch out for the next one. Okay guys, exercise number 5 is another scapular stabilising exercise, which again protects your shoulder. So, this is called the power raise, and you're going to need a bench and a dumbbell. Again, not going too heavy with this. It's all about stabilising and protecting that shoulder. We don't want to put loads of weight through it. So, you're going to lie on your side, try and lock yourself in by getting a decent grip with your feet on the bench. You can use this hand on the floor to stabilise yourself. And what you're going to do is grab the dumbbell in one hand, and then from the bottom of the movement, you're going to set your shoulder back and down, and the movement is bringing the dumbbell up to the sky. But you don't want to be over your shoulder, you want to be in line with your eyesight. So, really, really slow that eccentric phase down until you get to the bottom. Then you're going to reset back and down and pull that back to the ceiling. What you want to concentrate on here is it's only your arm moving. Your shoulder doesn't move at all. It's set back and down over your eye line. And you're just going to slowly lower that to the ground. And I can really feel that in my rear delts, which is another muscle which stabilises the shoulder. So again, when you get to the bottom, if you can't hold it in that retracted and lowered position, you're going to retract it, lower it down, and repeat that movement. Wow. Really, really slow on that eccentric phase. This is where all the damage occurs, which is good. You want to create that damage so it grows back bigger and stronger. Wow, again, 8 to 12 reps on each side, just flip yourself around. Yeah, and repeat. Cool, that was a good one. Decent. Right, exercise number 5, done. Okay, exercise number 6, and the last of the weighted exercises is an Arnold press. So what you're going to do with an Arnold press is get your arms so they are horizontal to the floor. Start with your palms facing you. It is a rotational movement, so as you press, you're going to rotate your arms to the side of your shoulders and press it above your head before coming back down, keeping those dumbbells above your shoulders and returning your arms to the start. So why this is so good, it's a rotational movement, so it's investing more muscle fibers to do the movement. You've got a greater range of motion, so you're stabilising that shoulder throughout the whole movement, and also you're working unilaterally. So you're working bilaterally, but your arms are working independently. So if you've got any imbalances, you'll soon work it out, and you're strengthening each side at a time. So if you do have any weaknesses, lack of stability, anything, it will become apparent quite soon and you can work on that individually. So let's show you it with the weights. We can keep a nice straight back as we lift them up. Let's get the dumbbells up in front of you. You don't want to start resting down like this. You want to keep tension on the muscle the whole time. So you're going to have your palms facing you, your arms are horizontal to the floor. We're going to press and rotate at the same time. Nice straight line, bringing the dumbbells above our heads and slowly lowering them back down, keeping our arms horizontal to the ground and dumbbells up nice and high. Rotating up and then returning to the start position. Important here, you want to keep a nice braced core. So imagine touching your ribs to the top of your pelvis. You can do this by squeezing your glutes nice and tight, bracing your core. Again, slight bend in your knees and also tensing your quads, so you've got a nice braced core, moving in a nice pattern, like so. And there you go, there's the last of the weighted exercises. That was the Arnold Press. We're going to move on to some resistance band stuff, which you can also do on a cable machine. Okay, we're moving away from the weighted exercises and onto resistance bands. You can also do this on a cable machine if you have access to a gym. The first exercise is a face pull, and what you want to do is set either the cable height or the resistance bands in line with your mouth, head height, whatever it is. And all you're going to do is take a nice grip on the resistance bands or the cables, and we're going to pull that in towards our face, concentrating on keeping your elbows nice and high. So ideally you want your elbows above your shoulders, and again with all the other movements you want to make sure you're setting your shoulders back and down, and you're opening up your chest, pulling that into your face, elbows nice and high, and again, nice and slowly on the way back in. So this exercise is targeting your rear deltoid, which is a muscle often neglected. So when we think of pushing, when we're chest pressing, we're using our chest obviously, but also the front of our deltoid. A lot of overhead stuff targets the anterior deltoid, and it's the back one that is often neglected. So you want to promote balance in your body. Imbalances are often the cause of injury, so we want to make sure that we're working out our front as much as the back. Not only that, if you've got nice strong deltoids at the back, it gives you good posture, but also when you're doing pressing exercises like a bench press, it gives you a nice hard surface to push off against. So this is an excellent exercise, especially if you spend a lot of time at a desk. You're going to have rounded shoulders. Also, if you do too much pressing, you will have rounded shoulders. So you want to really work on that posture, setting the shoulders, scapula back and down, and pulling that into our face. You don't need to go super heavy with this, especially if you don't really work this exercise. You're going to find it quite hard. We're going to pull that into our face, elbows nice and high, and again lowering that back down. There you go. Okay, we're coming to the end of this YouTube tutorial on how to stabilise your shoulders, and I've got two more exercises for you. They're opposing exercises, but great nonetheless. So remember earlier I told you about external rotation, focusing on the infraspinators and the teres minor. We've got another variation of an exercise like that, and then we've got the opposite of that, just to make sure you're keeping the balance. So I think I'm going to struggle to do it with this resistance band, because it is quite resistant, but I'm going to show you all the same. So first exercise is a 90-degree external rotation. Again, similar to earlier, we're focusing on that teres minor and the infraspinators. So you're going to get your arms so it's horizontal to the floor, bit of resistance on here, and you're going to work to pull your hand to the back of the room, making sure that you keep that elbow in line with your shoulder. So externally rotating, that is very difficult, and then slowly lowering that back to the start position. The opposite of that is going to be facing the other way, exactly the same movement, apart from you're going to work to pull that resistance the other way. So again, making sure that you're keeping your elbow in line with your shoulder. You're going to work on that resistance band, pulling that to the floor, and then slowly allowing that resistance to bring you back to the start position. And there you go. There is a handful of exercises that are going to be great for stabilising and strengthening your shoulder. Do not wait until you get to my position and your shoulders are completely obliterated. Do all the proactive work before injuring yourself, so you don't have to be reactive once you've injured yourself and go through all the rehab. Honestly, I wish that I'd known all of this 2 years ago before I absolutely battered my shoulder. I would be doing it all day because it's such an inconvenience being injured. I'm just getting to a point now where it's starting to feel normal. It's by no means at 100%, but I'm taking turmeric shots, I'm doing all these exercises, I'm making sure that I'm doing the rehab and I'm actually going through those planes of motion. It's no good to not do anything. You need to start to strengthen up your rotator cuff. You need to be mobilizing, stabilizing those joints and do everything you can to protect your body. You only get one, so look after it. I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you want to see anything else from me, make sure you comment down below and I will try and do as many videos as possible to get you the content that you want. Hope you've enjoyed that one, and until next time, temps out.